happening, Fight Week Show fans, Fight Week Show people, them, and look what the cat has dragged in. Sam Kelly in the house today, man. How you doing, Sam?
I'm all good, mate. Are you?
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. I'm good, man. I wanted to throw in your nickname in there real quick. It scrambled up in my head. I thought, you know what? Let's just go with Sam Kelly right quick. How you doing, man? How you doing? It's so good to have you on, man. And like I was saying to you off air, we've tried to schedule this for quite some time. You know, I've been following you, been following your work, and we tried to schedule it, but for some reason, our scheduling hasn't really met up. But you're here today, and we've got a good friend in common in Tommy. Shout out to Smash
Yeah,
Sport and Eric's gear as well. Richard Rag is one of your guys, and yeah,
yeah.
Richard works in conjunction with us as well, man. So salute to Richard Rag and Eric's gear and Smash Sport, Tommy, for putting this all together, man. Salute to all of those guys. So what I really want to talk to you about, obviously, is about your come up in MMA. You are 3 fights in with Cage Warriors. Obviously, your last fight uh didn't go well.
Yeah.
Let's start there. Then we'll come back to your come up. Your last fight in the Cage Warriors 158, unfortunately didn't go your way, and that was your first loss inside of in the cage with Cage Warriors. It
Yeah.
was via unanimous decision. And I just wanted to say you handled that loss gracefully and with strength and character. So I just want to I want to give you them flowers right there. But can you walk us through what went wrong and what you'd probably change in a rematch?
I think I let him control me against the cage too much. I think that's what won the fight for him. I was making some silly mistakes on the cage.
Mm,
When I've watched it back, I already know what I should have been doing, and I just wasn't doing it. It's not like I'm looking for answers to what he was doing to me
mm,
on the cage. And other than the damage, which was just my nose,
mm.
really,
Yeah.
the striking was quite even. You could have made an argument either way for the striking to be scored every single round.
Mm,
It was literally what won the rounds, what swung the rounds for him was what happened on the cage. So it's identified a couple of areas that I'm going to change, but nothing. It's they're not groundbreaking changes I need to do. They're just going to be little tweaks and a slightly different approach to certain things, and we'll be good to go and get back on track.
yeah. Uh, I mean, look, anybody that's seen you under the Cage Warrior banner would know that you're a very exciting fighter, a very explosive fighter, and you do like your finishes. We've seen you finish by KO. We've seen you finish by sub. Which one would you say is more pleasing to you in the ways that you've gone about those sort of victories, getting them to tap out or just knocking them out? Which one is more pleasing?
He's, I do like the control element of making someone tap or putting them to sleep,
You're
like
one of
because
them. You're one of
you've,
them.
I feel like yeah, you're fully in control there. That's but a knockout with the hands as well. That is a good feeling. I'm not gonna lie. It's hard to pick. I take any.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. I mean, anything that gets you into a W column, but like you said, you take any because of the amount of work that you have to put
Yeah,
in to even get to those skill level. It's incredible. I want to say to you, like I said, you have a quote out there that says you have to kill me to get me to quit. Right. This is one of your quotes in one of your interviews out there. Is this something that you've always been like? Have you always been like that since you was a kid coming up, or is this something that you've had to learn since you got into your MMA journey as an
no,
MMA?
I think that's always been my character to anything in life, really. But it just obviously transfers very well into fighting. Yeah, that's it. You'll never see me quit, even when I'm up against it. I'm never going to give anyone the satisfaction of letting them break my will,
Mm.
break my soul in there. No one can do that. I won't let anybody do that. You might outskill me on the night, you might outpoint me on the night, but you ain't going to out tough me. No chance.
100%. I mean, you you're one of those guys that when you watch how you fight, especially even the last one, you was in it till the end. You was in it till to the last second of the bell, and it's something that fight fans look for in a fighter. It's almost like a relatable sort of trait, if you like. It's because, like you said, it's something that transferred from a day to day life into your mixed martial arts profession. Can you tell us the gym, the coaches, your team that's around you, what influence they have on you, and how did you even get around to picking those guys to give you the sort of support network that you have now?
Well, I've, I've trained at SBG Rochdale under Martin Stapleton, who is an absolutely stand-up guy, man. I get on with him so well. He went above and beyond for me this last fight camp. So big shout out to him. He's an ex-marine. He's mentally tough.
Mm,
He's been there and done it in MMA. Fought on the big stages. And then I've got my mate Jamie A. He's a proper brain box when it comes to fighting, really. Um, and then I go down to up to higher level, and James Doolan and all
mm,
the lads up there.
yeah.
They're all absolute killers. The mat's full of world champions up there, so they've all got the right mindset
Mm,
of people that are going to be on course to be world champions.
yeah.
So I just try and surround myself with the right people. And that's where you're going to grow. So you're going to grow as a person. So you're going to grow as a fighter. Yeah, that's the aim, really. I'm not in a race with anyone to do anything. As long as I think I'm getting better all the
Mm,
time, that's all that matters.
yeah, man. 100%. And you mentioned those guys there, a higher level MMA. We've spoken to a couple of them from over there. Kunle Lawal from over there. They got Mark Ewan from over there. Stephen Ray. There's quite a Rhys McEwan. There's all these guys that's come from that gym. So there's a good collection of people, like you said, they're going to end up being world champions, down the line. But I want to ask you. I wanted to ask you this: what is what is your favorite match or favorite fight that you've had over the years that you go back, you like to go back and look at it every now and again and reminisce on it? What even in your amateur days, is that one that you cast your mind back to?
I don't know, and I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here to what you said, but
Yeah.
I've had a couple of people, ex-fighters, coaches, who messaged me or I've spoke to in person, and they've said that fight you had on Saturday. He said you won't think back to like your 10-second knockout
Mm.
and stuff like that. He said the one that you had on Saturday, when you get older, they're the ones that you'll think back to and think, you know what, I had it in there to do that. And
That,
so I reckon it might be that one that's just happened. It's still a bit raw at the minute. I've watched it back a couple of times, but it must have been good to watch as a fan. Anyway,
that's what I'm saying. That was a good fight. That was a good fight to watch. I've been back to watch it about two times myself, and I thought I watched it on the night, and then I went back and watched it again because obviously I knew I was going to talk to you, after the
yeah,
fight, because we were going to plan to do this before or after your fight. So it was there. You know what I mean? It was just one of those that the fight was. But they always say you don't. from losses like this, you learn a lot more from losses like that than your 10-second knockout.
Yeah, exactly. Well, look, mate, I've got a swollen nose and a black eye. That is all I've got. The blood just makes it look 10 times worse on the night.
Yeah.
And like when I watched it back, it's like if I'd have just made a few adjustments even during the fight, I probably could have got it, but I didn't. So you just got to learn and move on because that's just the way it goes.
Yeah. Fair play to you. I wanted to ask you about couple things, outside of Cage Warrior. We've just seen the UFC host like a BMF sort of title or competition between Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje, and we saw what happened with both those guys in the first fight. What did you make of this this fight that they just had with Justin Gaethje finishing Dustin Poirier the way he did, and even that whole crazy stuff about Salt Lake City and head kicks? Leon Edward head kicking Usman into oblivion. Like, what did you make of that whole event there?
It's when you're fighting at that high level and the skill is so high, and when they're evenly matched, Poirier and Gaethje are very evenly matched.
Yeah.
That they could fight 50 times and you'd get Poirier get 25, Gaethje get 25. It's just the way it goes on the night, and that's why everyone loves the sport so much, because you just don't know, and that's what makes it exciting. That's what makes people tune in. But absolutely beautiful head kick, beautiful setup. It's quite a basic setup, really, but he done it amazing.
It was almost the same sequence with Leo when he faints for the.
Well, it was pretty much exactly the same, but one was southpaw, one was orthodox.
Yes.
That was literally the only difference in them.
It's so weird. It's so weird that actually happened in the same arena. There was just a deja vu moment when it happened, and I think Kopilov did it, one of those earlier on in the night to Ribeiro as well. Exactly.
Yeah.
Another fantastic head kick that finished the fight.
Yeah, there must be something in the air in Salt Lake City.
There definitely was. There definitely was. And you yourself, obviously the goal, because you're in Cage Warriors. Cage Warriors definitely got good relationship with UFC, and getting some of the fighters that's done well on that promotion. We're talking Monley McCann, Paddy Pimblett, even Modestas Bukauskas is one of those guys that's left Cage Warriors, to move on to bigger things with UFC. Do you have? Let me ask you: do you have those sort of ambitions to go and test, your skill set against some of the best guys down the line in the UFC?
Yeah, 100%. 100% I do, mate. I believe in myself. So yeah, I want good fights. I want to fight good guys that are evenly matched against me. That's what I done on Saturday. I come up short. There's but then you know what I mean. This loss might serve me well. If we're 12 months down the line, we might be looking back at it and going, "Oh, thank God that happened because I fixed A, B, and C." And now look at me. So last time I got beat, been on a 3-fight win streak, and 2 of them were in Cage Warriors. So it's just one of them things, and I'm going to build off it. And the bounce back will be beautiful.
Yeah, 100%. I have no doubt about it. I'm looking forward to your bounce back, because I just think you've got what it takes to really go far in this profession that you're in as an MMA fighter and become a superstar. I think you have all the qualities, you have all the attributes, and the skill set is there. Is time is a healer. You'll be back in there, forgetting about this fight, doing what you do best. But one more thing before we get you out of here, and thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure, mate. Don't worry.
What's the hardest part about training during fight camp? You know, when you're preparing for fights, because it's one of the things that I always put in my mind. I don't really want to bother fighters before they go into fight. I much rather speak to them after the fight, because then
Yeah.
you know all of the hard work and everything that they put in.
Little cool off period.
You know, yeah, and then I'd have a good experience as well. So, but what's the hardest part about, you know, going to training? Maybe even after a win or after a loss. What's the hardest part? You know, just with training.
What, just after a fight specifically?
Yeah.
I think the hardest part is because obviously when you've got the fight, you've got that target in your mind, you've got something to work towards, and then when you first go back, it's sort of like, oh, not even. It's weird. You sort of feel lost for a little bit, but it's good to be able to go back and not have to absolutely bust your balls every session, and you can just focus on developing your skills more than making sure you're in fighting shape. You know what I mean?
Fantastic. What about weight cutting? Like, you know, when do you preparing for a fight, and because we've even in the last UFC card I was talking about, there was quite a few couple fighters that were struggling with weight cuts. You know, how bad is that for fighters that have to compete with people that don't make weight? Because we see Wonder Boy made a big statement about not fighting, you know, his opponents because they didn't make weight, and he don't want to be fighting fighters that don't make weight because it's disrespectful to him, his professional space.
Yeah.
What's your take on that whole making weight and weight cut situation, and even bad weight cuts?
Any professional that don't make weight is just a joke. You're supposed to be a professional, so act like one. It's part of your job, so you should be doing it. I use Charlie Mitten, the nutritionist. He makes my life so much easier. So for people that are in the UFC to not be using nutritionists and stuff like that, there's just no excuse.
Yeah, I agree with you. I completely 100% agree with you. I'm not a big fan of people that don't make work, because it just to me shits on the opponent's work if the opponent's done everything to turn up and make that fight. So to me, I don't understand it. Why fighters at this, especially at the higher echelon of promotion, not be using the right nutritionist and stuff like that. So yeah, I completely agree with you on that one. And yeah, hopefully, you know, for your next fight, like I said, we're going to be keeping an eye on it. We're going to be supporting you. We're going to be pushing you and reposting some of your stuff that you post online. And yeah, we're just going to be ready to see. We want to see you back in there. Do what you do best, man. And we can't wait. We can't wait.
That's it. I've got a few little niggles I just need to sort out before I'll be back in the gym working, mate. So
yeah, but fantastic.
Yeah,
but good to know. Sam, thank you so much for your time, man. You've been a fantastic guest, and hopefully we'll be able to bring you back in a short period of time after your fight.
Most definitely, mate. Most definitely.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sam. And we are going to see you later. Up onto the next video, people.
Hey guys, this is John Anik from the UFC. You're watching the Fight Week Show. Please subscribe. Not now, but right now. Subscribe to the Fight Week Show. We'll see you guys on the road soon.